Welcome back, everyone. Today's term to know is build. This is relatively new. I believe we started using build 2, maybe 3 sets ago as of time of recording. But to build a card is to add it to your stage. So if you are clearing your card pool at the end of a turn, when you bring your foundations or assets into your stage, it's called building a foundation. If you bring a character that you played down into your stage, it is called building a character. There are several cards, like, say, Spirit Beast Pooh. This says after you use it to block, you're allowed to build it into your stage. So you add it to your stage, and in this case, you add it committed. So it doesn't come in ready, it comes in committed. You have most cards that build can build random cards, like, say, Weapons Clash. This says you can flip Weapons Clash face down. You build the top card of your deck face down committed. So you take the top card of your deck, put it into your stage committed as a face down foundation. Building is pretty solid because you are gaining additional resources. So anytime you can build a card ready into your stage in the middle of your turn, you're gaining extra resources to extend the life of your turn. Most of the time, you are going to be building your cards face down. Usually, if it says build a card face up, it will be asking from a public zone. So, like Kuwabara Spirited Warrior here says, after your non-throw attack deals damage, build one foundation from your discard pile. Your discard pile is a public zone, so that card is allowed to be built face up. If a card is being built from a private zone, such as your hand or the top of your deck, that card gets built face down. Even if the card doesn't say face down, that says face down, that says face down. There are some cards that say build, but usually, if you're building something from a public zone, that card is built face up. And if you're building something from a private zone, that card is built face down. Attacks can be built into your stage face down. They are treated as face down foundations. So for Younger Toguro Hero, he allows you to build one of your attacks that has resolved face down as a foundation. So it's treated as a foundation with no abilities. That's a case of a card being pulled from a public zone that has to go face down because attacks cannot exist in your stage, which is tricky because if you have a card like Invisible Infiltration, which says you remove one foundation in either stage, and then after this attack resolves, the owner of the removed foundation builds it from their removed from game pile face up. If you remove a card you know is an attack, they don't get to build it back in because it is no longer a foundation. If you select a foundation that is face down to be unflipped, and that foundation turns out to be an attack, that card is destroyed. So if you know your rival's building attacks because of their character abilities or other abilities, and you can unflip those cards, you can basically destroy their foundations. Any cards that they've built like that. It is incredibly powerful. But that's why there's not a lot of unflip and not a lot of counterplay to that, because it's not a very big thing. But to build is to add something to your stage. If it's built from a public zone, it will be face up, unless it's an attack. If it's from a private zone, it'll be face down. And that's all I have to say about build. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. So until next time, class dismissed.